Welcome back to part 3 of Soditseptember, that I sort, organise and declutter to you and I. I actually did this particular sort out last week. Well, we had my stepdad's funeral on Friday, so I did not get round to doing the voiceover, did not feel like doing the voiceover. So we are nearly a week on from actually doing this tidy before I'm doing the voiceover. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm just going to talk about what we did in this particular tidy. So this ended up being basically a bit of a deep clean. This was done during I started it during a lunch break. I said I started it because it took me longer than my lunch break. So I decided that I would take as much as possible out of the bedroom, give it a real good tidy. I would say, so we clean like the bedroom regularly. The bedroom gets cleaned, but a deep clean, I can't remember the last time I did that, if I'm honest. And the light fitting is looking so dusty and the walls were dusty. I had become aware, particularly of that dark like blue wall, you could physically see the dust on the wall, which is so weird. I kept thinking, is there dust like this on all of my walls? And I just don't realise because like they're lighter colour, like I don't know. So I decided I would take everything down, give everything a really good clean and do a bit of a declutter in the process. And I did declutter, but this was definitely more about a deep clean in the end. So dusting the pictures, which were absolutely filthy, I have to say. This one in particular was so filthy. We had bought this picture that I'm tidying up at the moment when we were on our honeymoon. Not a honeymoon, it wasn't a honeymoon, it was my husband's 40th. In Venice. I took him on a little mini tour around Italy. This was just before I got pregnant with my first baby, when we had more time, more money and more sleep. So I took him to, he was in Venice for his actual 40th. I woke up his 40th morning in a hotel room along the Grand Canal in Venice. We went to Rome and we went to Florence, just a few days in each, doing like trains in between. It was really cool. And we bought that picture. Somebody was painting it along the side, like standing by the side of the canal, painting it and sending their pictures. And then we had it framed when we got home. And I love that it has that memory attached to it. I think having things in your house that you really love that bring back memories of an awesome time is so lovely. So windows wise, I don't know if you've been around for a while, you might remember I talked about how I had several jobs that, well, for whatever reason, I had a bit of a mental block on completing them. Like I just could not get around to doing them. One of them was arranging a window cleaner. Another one was getting the plumber in to fix some things. So the plumber he's fixed everything. The plumbing is done. The plumbing is sorted. The window cleaner, I made the calls. I arranged the window cleaner. I chose a window cleaner and I arranged the day for him to arrive. And the following day, I realised, oh, the windows look the same. Did the window cleaner arrive? No, the window cleaner did not arrive. I look at my messages on my phone, and because it was all on like Facebook Messenger, and he said, sorry, couldn't make it today. Like, I'll be there tomorrow. So fine. The door, like the gate was still open to the side of the house. And then he doesn't rock up. The next day I look and I got a message saying, oh, I wasn't sure if you still wanted me or not, so I didn't come, let me know. And I was so thrown by this, like who goes out of their way to get a quote, arrange a day, ask for bank details and everything. I hadn't paid him, by the way, but you know, I'd asked like, you know, send me bank details. I knew we'd agreed the price. He's gonna come, we agree the day. Right, and then like doesn't turn up and then arranges a new day and then doesn't turn up anyway. Look at the dust on this headboard, right? This is disgusting. I'm sorry about this. The dust, and just to show you, like you can see the dust on the walls, but that was like it the whole way up the wall, which was really weird. I don't know if it was that particular paint or if it was like that in the whole room, but it was very dusty. So I hoovered the headboard, which is like this velvet kind of material. And then I had in my head that I've got this like Vax, like handheld, what's it called? Spot wash. So I was going to spot wash the headboard and I ran out of time. So we didn't do that, but we did get the dust off anyway, which is the important thing. So I just went around with the hoover and I got the bulk of the dust off. So, and hoovered the curtains. I don't think I've ever done this. I thought the curtains looked fine, but I have to say once I hoovered them, they looked a lot better. So I think they just had an even layer of dust on them. It was just, the whole place was so dusty. Oh my God. It was a dust den. I don't know how we were breathing, how we were not just wheezing all the time, honestly. Um, so seriously though, my eldest has asthma. I have mild asthma, and having like such a dusty room is just really not a good idea, is it? So the window cleaner basically did not come. I kind of felt like, because he had been a bit flaky, that I didn't want to follow up with him. And then I didn't get anyone else in, and so the windows have still not been cleaned. So they basically haven't been cleaned for like over a year now, which is, I mean, I say that, I have cleaned them, so that's not true, but they haven't been professionally cleaned for over a year now. And like the trickiest ones are the Velux windows. But I did, in the summer, I did climb out of the windows in my room. And then I kind of sat on the roof and cleaned the Veluxes. I don't recommend this. I feel like this is a way to land yourself in hospital. But I did it, I managed it, and it wasn't great fun. And I definitely need to sort that out. So I've still got that to do. But I managed to clean the outside of the windows in the bedroom by like turning them in. And they looked, I mean, just everything looks so much better. Do you know when you do like a full scale clean of a room and you think everything was passable, everything was absolutely fine, like the room gets hoovered, the bed sheets get changed, right? And the windows occasionally get a little wipe over, and everything was absolutely fine. Up until the point where I started tackling all the marks on the walls, it'd been pretty speedy actually. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to get this done in an hour. What a fool. I sped this up massively. I also cut loads of this out because, quite frankly, watching me scrub marks off walls is dull. But I use magic erasers. I went through about 5 or 6 magic erasers and I got loads of scratches off the walls. So it's looking lots better. Then I got my speed mop and I filled it with water, but that didn't work because it was upside down. So I basically had to just like drench the head of it in water and then put it on, like squeeze it out and put it on, and then take it off and rinse it and then put it all back on. So this, I was aiming on getting the, any dust off the walls, but also I do find those magic erasers like leave a residue on the walls. So for that reason, I did not use them. I mean, there weren't any marks really on the dark wall anyway, that was just dust, but I didn't use magic erasers on the dark wall because I've made that mistake before. I've used them on like coloured walls and it's just made a mess. So I used the mop over the walls and that just really helped. And then over the dark walls to really get the dust off. This helped a lot, but in some places it just kind of moved the dust into one area. And then I got like a muslin cloth after and I just wiped those bits of dust like off. But I have to say, this was so satisfying. It did take me longer than I had expected, right? So I think at this point, this is after I'd finished work, so I had to come back and finish it off. And then my husband came home from work and I was like, I'm so sorry, you're going to have to go and collect the kids. I think he'd gone and got the boys. I was supposed to be getting our little girl, and I was just like, look, I've taken everything out of the room. I've still got to put everything back in. I hadn't finished out and hoovered by that point. So the boys were then home. He went and got a little girl, and honestly, I think he's so used to my like silly ideas of things that I can get done in a lunch break and can't clearly, that he just rolls his eyes and gets on with it now. So now I have an audience of people who want various different things and snacks and aren't you finished yet, mummy? And what are you doing, mummy? Which is absolutely fine because bonkers mummy is cleaning a bedroom when she really doesn't have the time to do it. But this was so good, and I have to say it's, it is maintained that, not perfect. We've had a few things creep back in, of course, but it has been a lot tidier, a lot clearer. And yes, I am using the skirt of my dress to dust pictures because I'd taken my cloth downstairs and by this point I'm so hot and sweaty, I've clearly got to have a shower and change my clothes. So I decided I might as well use my clothes as a duster. Don't shame me. Don't tell me you've never done this before. So I had a little mini declutter of stuff as I was going. There were piles of things like old shirts that my husband had in a pile on the floor. I cleared all of those. I took everything actually that I was getting rid of, like straight away, to clothing recycle bin and the bin. So I got rid of things, I action them pretty quickly, because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have bags that just sit around the house for ages, and I do have some bags of kids' clothes in the house that are sitting waiting for me to action. So I'm not perfect, but on this occasion I did actually sort them out. And yeah, just having a bit of like a proper tidy up in here and a proper sort out. So it wasn't a major declutter, it was a mini declutter and a major clean. That's what we'll call it. But just getting rid of some of these dust marks that I realised were on the walls. And I spent several days after this. Every time I went in the room, I was like, isn't it nice? Isn't it nice, Craig? Don't you think it's much more peaceful now? And he just grunted in response at me. So yeah, not clearly as impressed as I was by the transformation, shall we say. There's a funny lamp here. I shall just sit down. Oh, it's a nice armrest. Oh, good. Ah. Oh, it's you! What are you doing there?
Mama, I'm gonna talk every time.
Well, yes, please. What do you think of Mummy and Daddy's bedroom? Does it look a bit cleaner, a bit tidier? Yeah, I highly recommend letting your grubby little urchins who've returned from school with black knees roll around on your bed immediately after you've tidied it and cleaned it up. So let's just remember what it was like when I started out. And do you know what, actually, it was actually worse than this. I decided to tackle this bedroom after I'd already packed away and tidied up some things. And I was like, God, this is a mess, isn't it? Why don't we film it for YouTube? A bit of motivation. All those shirts, all that rubbish went. All of that tidied up. And here, next up, oh, just ignore the DIY jobs. We need to do some painting. Here's what it looked like afterwards. Nice tidy desk, got rid of those shirts, got rid of all the bags of stuff, had a real tidy. I tried very hard with my husband's bedside table. He did get some things back out and put them back up, so his bedside table is now covered again, but mine has stayed pretty clear. The windows looked magnificent, curtains were glorious, the light is positively sparkling, and the walls are dust free. So I was really pleased with that. I will see you in the next one.